Hardwell, can I just tell you how happy it makes me to see you again?
I'm here. I'm back. Thank you.
You are back.
Happy to see you again.
And not only that, how happy it makes the entire dance community to see you again. Hardwell, welcome to America's Dance 30.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
So how has it been coming back?
It's been great so far. It's been an amazing journey. I didn't actually realize how much I actually missed it, to be honest. But the moment I got back on stage, and it's so weird. I always say, like, when I'm on stage, I gain so much inspiration just of the energy of the crowd and the whole adventure of being on the road and meeting new cultures, new people. And yeah, I'm made for this job, man. I can't complain.
It's so funny. I bet you anything, the second I leave radio, I am going to be missing it. Just like you. You don't realize it until you're out.
Exactly. It's like I appreciate it more than ever. And maybe it sounds weird. Well, they always say the same thing, right? When you you have to miss something before you know that it's actually really important in your life. And well, it was definitely with being on the road and doing the shows and making the music. And making music, it's always been like almost like a daily routine for me. But it's so different than being on the road. And with this whole US tour lined up right now, I prepare all those demos. As you can see, I'm in the studio right now. I'm preparing all those demos to get it with me on the road testing for like the next couple of weeks. And after the summer, I'm going to decide just based on the crowd reaction, which ones I'm going to release. And that back and forth, like that conversation, like that energy conversation I have with the crowd, that's what I miss the most by far.
Well, we're going to talk all about the North American tour and the world tour and your music coming up. But before we talk all about that, let's get to know Hardwell a little better with Finky's firsts.
Okay, yeah.
So I love finding out the origin story of artists. I know at a very young age you learned piano and you actually produced your first song at like 12, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But was music the first thing you wanted to do when you were growing up, or was there something else?
No, actually, I think music was always kind of there in the back of my head. I think the only split decision I had when I was around 16 was probably being a graphic designer. I always programmed websites and did my own artwork and my own logo and that kind of stuff. But music was always really, really good for me. So it was more like a backup plan than an actual plan.
Do you remember that song that you produced at 12?
I remember it. I'm happy I don't have it anymore.
Wait, do you remember what the name of it was?
I think it was Drone Passion or something that I came up with. I have no idea how I came up with that name though. But yeah, Drone Passion was that name, and yeah, I think I made it in FL Studio, and yeah, that was definitely the first dance song I produced.
That is so awesome. I wish we could go back and hear that now. Now, when you were deciding on an artist's name, was Hardwell the first name you came up with, or were there other considerations?
I'm using the name Hardwell since I was 14. So yeah, it was definitely the first artist name. I didn't have an artist name before that. And actually, my dad came up with the name Hardwell. It's I have a Dutch last name, Van de Korput, but if you translate it right into English, you get Hardwell. So it's basically a translation of my Dutch last name.
Well, it's a great name. I'm glad you decided on that.
Thank you. Thank to my dad, though.
Now, you famously stepped away in 2018 from the scene. Who was the first person that you told that you were stepping away?
I think my mom and dad and my manager, Anna. Yeah, they were definitely the first that I actually texted that I needed a break. And not that I needed a break, that I'm actually gonna take a break. It was not even like a conversation. It was more like a decision I made for myself. And yeah, it was a really hard decision, but I never regret it. I'm really happy that I took that decision, and it definitely made me a better person and even a better artist.
I bet. And I bet that was a shock to Anna.
Well, on the other hand, she kind of saw it coming. I was let's say this at the first, I want to clear out that I never had mental problems or anything like that. But it was the touring was so hard, and it was so hard to keep up with my music and, the whole inspiration. And I work really hard, and Anna loves that about me. And like in the last 2 years, I didn't have like the passion, though, like the fire to work that hard anymore. I just did my thing and that's it basically. And she kind of missed like the always for like I'm always like forward thinking and oh I want to do this in 6 months, I want to do this next year, and I kind of lost that motivation. So yeah, from that point on she started coming.
Well, I've told Afrojack many times that I don't know how you guys do it. Like the schedule that you guys have is just insane, so it completely makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not doing that kind of schedule anymore. I'm so happy I have the time to work in the studio on my music, prepare my sets, see my family and friends. For me, this is like a perfect balance. I'm doing like, let's say 40 shows a year compared to like, I did like 180 or 200 shows a year. So I'm super happy that I still am able to be on the road, do the amazing tours, meet up with the fans, and then on the other hand, just make music and, well, be the best version of myself. That's what I'm trying to do.
Now, do you remember the first thing that you did when you did finally step away?
Not really, actually. I think sleep a lot. Like, don't set an alarm. So no alarm. I just wanted to sleep, get rid of my endless jet lag that I had.
Oh my God, when I'm on vacation, I think that is one of the best feelings is turning off all the alarms and not even thinking about it.
And it's so funny, you probably recognize it. So the first day you set off your alarm, you still wake up.
You still wake up.
7 or 8 a.m.
It's so annoying. Now, finally in Finky's First, when I mention Hardwell, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
Wow, just the name Hardwell, I would say DJ. That's, yeah.
Okay. That's to the point.
I don't know, like DJ, producer.
Well, let's talk about this North American and world tour. You're going to be touring the U.S. through May 20th, and then you're going to be all over the world through August. People can find out those dates at djhardwell.com/tour dates. What has been the best thing for you coming back and doing shows again?
Definitely the fans, seeing the fans, seeing the response. I spent here 4 years working on my Rebels Never Die album, but I think the most important thing about music is that it connects to people, and then when I'm on stage, it creates memories with the fans. And I think those memories are one of the most vulnerable emotions we can get as a human being. Everybody recognizes when you hear a song, you immediately have a certain memory about that song. Can be like driving in your car, be at a festival, can be like whatever. But like making memories with music, that was definitely, for me, that's the most important thing about music.
And speaking of memories, what was going through your head when you were stepping back on stage at Ultra 2022?
I was like crazy nervous. I've never been that nervous in my life. And I'm really happy with that performance. But it was like so nerve-wracking to be on stage, only playing unknown music to the people as a comeback. I know people expect, it was a different style. People were only expecting like the big room kind of music from me. And with this album, I definitely took a different approach to my own sound. And it wasn't like an insecure feeling, but just like being there on stage for so many people, living up to a hype with only unknown music at that point, that was crazy. One of the craziest things I've done in my life.
Well, like I said at the beginning, it is so awesome having you back. It is always great chatting with you. Of course, besides the North American tour and the world tour, you've got brand new music. You just dropped Acid. How was that song born?
I think I had the idea for doing an Acid song for so long, but I wanted to make it like a crossover song because there's a lot of Acid underground techno songs, but they don't work in a Hardwell set. I need like the balance between like a great EDM song and a great techno song. And well, obviously Maddox was like an easy choice because he's really messing around with that Acid sound lately. But I wanted to come up with like a vocal to make it more crossover. And well, I actually wrote the lyric myself. And when I came up with the whole idea of that lyric and that gimmick lyric, I just approached Luciana to record it, and she was super down. And I think within like 2 weeks we finished the song.
Did you design the artwork for it too?
No, I didn't actually. They didn't have revealed, but it was the idea of the Acid smiley though, like the LSD smiley. Yeah.
Well, Hardwell, it is awesome having you back. Thank you so much for your time on America's Dance 30.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.